Good afternoon and welcome to Oriam, Scotland's Sports Performance Centre on the outskirts of Edinburgh for match day 3 of this Under-16 international tournament, where Scotland have the chance to win the competition if they get the right series of results against Uruguay today. England, of course, also involved against Qatar here as well. It's been a fairly memorable week so far. I'm Gordon Duncan, as always, joined by Kenny Miller. And Kenny, we've seen a lot to get excited about so far, and a chance for Scotland to run. Chance to run at this Qatar backlink. He's just going to do the exact same thing again. Great turn of face, Karamoko Dembele. Wonderful run, wonderful finish. Scotland 5, Qatar 0. Karamoko Dembele off the bench. He steps up to deliver this one left-footed, just tries to whip it into a danger area, bounces all the way through. Keeper can't get there, and it's fired high into the net by Jamie Hamilton. David Dembele trying to stake his own claim, even though he's just on. He slips that one through to Sparks. Sparks is in here and he rolls it into the back of the net. Scotland 7, Qatar 0. Referee blows his whistle. Maduki moving forward. He's going to just take this left footed. He just rolls it. It's a great save from Newman. Danger not over. Double save from Newman. Fantastic stuff from the Scotland goalkeeper. Ben Cameron. Here he comes, the Scotland skipper, right footed. Fires it, and it's another good penalty save. Harvey Collins with it.
Clearing the ball, but it's coming straight back at them.
That's a good challenge from Smith. Conor Barron, he's got the chance to lob the goalkeeper, and crashes off the crossbar. Comes back off the feet of Harvey Collins. And Conor Barron, the Scotland substitute, look at what that means to him. He's opened the scoring against England. Floated over the top, McAleer wins it, and it's in at the back post, and Ekropon forces it into the back of the net. Scotland double their lead with just 5 minutes to go. Scotland 2, England 0. Was of course the national anthem of Uruguay, and it is now time for the national anthem of Scotland. So all to play for here at Oriam this afternoon. Scotland with the chance to win this competition. Scotland will win if they manage to avoid defeat. Scotland would still win the tournament with a 1-goal defeat, and would you believe it, even a 2-0 defeat would make life a bit more difficult for us. That would then go down to a disciplinary record, Kenny. So very much in Scotland's hands. Simple, get a draw or a win, and the competition is in the bag.
But given the luck Scotland have had in tournaments over the years, it would almost be nice to win the tournament by losing 1-0. Doesn't often work out like that.
So as you can see, the table there, Scotland played 2, won 2, scored 9 and not conceded any. A really flawless record so far, and I'd imagine Brian McLaughlin's side will take plenty of confidence into this one. Let's take a look at the starting 11 for today then. It's going to be Robbie Hemfrey in goal for Scotland. It's going to be a back four of Kane Patterson, Liam Morrison, Ben Cameron and Jamie Hamilton. The midfield three, Captain Jensen Weir, Dylan Forrest and Rhys McAleer. And up front, Karamoko Dembele, Andrew Winter and Connor Barron. On the bench, Jack Newman, Finn Ekrapon, Cameron Logan, Connor Smith, Cole Stars, Liam Miller, Josh Grieger, Adam Kettings and Michael Sparks. That's the team selected today by Brian McLaughlin. Kenny, we've already seen great strength and depth, and again another completely different side, basically a mismatch of or a match of the two teams that we've seen in the last couple of games, and a further chance for these boys to come in and show what they can do.
Yeah, we debated whether the Qatari lineup was Scotland's strongest 11 or whether Brian McLaughlin was holding them back for England, but it really has been hard to tell because he does enjoy depth in every position. Are we going to get into the Connor Barron debate, or do you want to save that for another time? Very much a split verdict on whether he should get the credit for that goal against England or not. I think he absolutely should. It's nice to see him rewarded with a start. He obviously joined the group late on the night before, didn't even have time to train with them before his heroics against England, so I hope he takes his chance today.
Well, as you can see, Scotland in the pink strip this afternoon. Don't get confused, we are at Oriam on the outskirts of Edinburgh, but Uruguay technically the home side for this leg of the competition. So Scotland in the pink strips, and we are ready to get underway. Today's referee is Gavin Ross. He's just giving the final instructions to Andrew Winter, who will get the game underway for Scotland. And we will know over the next 80 minutes or so whether Scotland will win this under-16 international tournament. A blow the whistle from Gavin Ross, and we're underway as Rhys McAleer plays it out to Kane Patterson on this right side. It's an early loose pass from Dylan Forrest, which allows Uruguay to break early on. Scotland with some very, very early defending to do. Loose pass from Forrest. Patterson's there. Shells that one up the line. It's too high for Dembele. Forrest there with the header. Again, Scotland not managing to clear the lines. Here is Connor Barron, the man who enjoyed that game against England so much. Here goes Karamoko Dembele, driving forward, tries to slide one through for Andrew Winter, always looking to run in behind, as we've seen all week long. Shows a good turn of pace and strength there to win the throw-in for Scotland.
It's a good combination up front between Winter, who's hustle and bustle, strength and nuisance value, and Dembele and Barron either side.
Here's Patterson with it, just goes back in to Jensen Weir, captain's armband on today, the Wigan man. Here is Connor Barron. Into Cameron. We are happy to go all the way back. It's been a real feature of Scotland's play, Kenny, over the last couple of days. Certainly want to always dominate possession where possible. Here's Dembele, he's got Patterson outside him. Chooses just to go infield. Dembele might get it back, just nipped away from him.
Yeah, and I think you've mentioned Weir a few times over the course of the two games. He does like to get on the ball. He's got a very, very cool head on him. Likes to dictate the tempo, and he reads it well. Often looking to break up attacks.
So Scotland know exactly what they need to do, avoid defeat, and the competition is in the bag, but I'm sure Brian McLaughlin would love to do it with a win, and wouldn't it be quite something to complete the competition with no goals conceded whatsoever. But let's see what happens over the next 79 minutes or so. It's a crunching 50-50. Rhys McAleer more than happy to mix it in there, as that one's fired forward by Uruguay. Robbie Hemfrey's the man back in goal for Scotland today after Jack Newman's penalty heroics against England. Robbie Hemfrey, of course, was the man who played against Qatar as well, so some good squad rotation by Brian McLaughlin. Play just going to be brought back for a foul on Dylan Forrest. I don't think he was too impressed with that one.
I was surprised to see Dylan Forrest right in the mix. I think he's been one of the surprise packages over the two games so far.
It's a lovely turn from Karamoko Dembele, driving forward, manages to ride one or two challenges. Rhys McAleer can't control. Here's Jensen Weir, fires it out to Kane Patterson. Always going to be a difficult ball to control.
It's an interesting wee snapshot. We've mentioned this before, how strong Dembele is now on the ball and how his use of his body's improved. He is a difficult wee guy to shake off.
You can see Uruguay clearly do carry a physical presence as well, so Scotland are going to have to mix it where possible today. Kane Patterson, the number 2 there, felt he was clearly fouled, but referee Gavin Ross not interested as Uruguay opt to go long. It's flicked high into the centre circle. Reece McAleer with it. Dylan Forrest crunching in again, always looking to break up possession, and he slipped it through to Andrew Winter. Goalkeeper's just going to get there first. We saw so much of Dylan Forrest breaking up the play against England. Managed to get a man of the match award on the back of that, and he's done it again there, slipped a good ball through. We know Winter is quick in behind Kenny, but just couldn't quite get there in time.
It's a different side to Forrest's game. It was a well-weighted through ball. Winter just not quite on the same wavelength on that occasion.
You can see the playing surface here at Oriam has been heavily watered, so players must take that into account when playing those intricate through balls. That's a lovely piece of footwork from Jamie Hamilton, a very composed defender for Scotland. Here's Connor Barron, just misplaces the pass. He's working hard to get it back though, he's done just that. McAleer's there as well.
Connor Barron absolutely dwarfed there by his opponent, but showed real heart to win the ball back.
That's onto the chest of Patterson. Great footwork from him as well, just skipping away from his man. Tries to play it with the outside of the boot inside. Doesn't quite get the direction on it. McAleer can't get there. Barron's chasing hard to win it back. And he manages to get the break of the ball. Here's Jensen Weir.
I think Hamilton has been a standout so far, certainly against Qatar. His early impressions have been good here. So, as you say, so composed from the back. Patterson's another one. He's sharp on the ball, always looking to get involved.
Crunching tackle from Ignacio Quintana and Karamoko Dembele. Scotland man has to settle for a throw-in as Patterson finds Jensen Weir with a bit of space to turn into. Misplaces the pass though. There's a chance for Uruguay to come forward. Captain Juan Freire on the ball. Douglas Martinez fancies it from distance, has a fair crack at it. Never really in danger of troubling Robbie Hemfrey though.
Thought Cameron did well there just to put them off their stride. Couldn't quite get a toe in, but he did enough.
Just 1 or 2 loose passes from Scotland in these early 5 minutes or so, Kenny.
I think Brian McLaughlin mentioned it. It's going to be a completely different kind of test. They dominated against Qatar from the off. England was a back to the wall job at some points. This is really about going toe to toe physically.
There's another one. Robbie Hemfrey not quite managing to get the kick away from danger, and it's a good sliding challenge though.
Maybe no surprise to see a few misplaced passes in this third game. Brian McLaughlin used the phrase, he said he'd actually overtrained them this week, and between the games as well. None of these boys have ever played 3 games in 5 days to this intensity. So there's a fair degree of accumulated fatigue there, so maybe no surprise to see a bit of slackness early on.
Well, it was Ben Cameron who came across with the challenge. But Douglas Martinez is going to whip this one right into the danger area. Indeed he does. It's a deep delivery, flicked away by the head of Kane Patterson. Scotland with more defending to do from another corner kick. Patterson there just paying close attention, making sure this one doesn't come to any more danger. Martinez is the man going all the way across to take it on the far side as well. Everyone back for Scotland. Dembele and McAleer on the edge of the box. Dembele the one you'd imagine waiting for the ball to break. That's a wasted attempt from Uruguay.
Good to see from Scotland, no messing about, quick goal kick.
Always trying to just play out from the back. Haven't managed to be as accurate as they would like in the early stages, but that's tidy stuff this time. Patterson into Dembele. You can see him just twisting and turning. Jensen Weir's there into Barron. Good control from him. Comes back across, finds Dembele. Dembele with space to move into. He's got Patterson outside him, but he chooses to go back infield. Barron's there. Barron spotted him though. Out it comes to Patterson. He's going to whip that one in deep. Underneath it, the header goes. There's Liam Morrison all the way up from left back. Encouraging signs from Scotland.
It's a shame they couldn't quite get that one over the line, because it was a great move from start to finish, from the quick goal kick, passing in very, very tight areas under intense scrutiny. Good move. 1 to 11, cool heads on the ball.
Ignacio Ferreira is the man in goal for Uruguay. He goes long, finds Martinez who flicks it on. Hamilton volleys it high. Ends up drifting out of play on this near side. It's good footwork down the line. Martinez is going to get it back, and he's driving forward, tries an audacious effort with the outside of the right boot. That would have been something special if that had gone in, Kenny, but never really in danger of troubling Scotland.
It's a bit like the one you were bragging about scoring the other night, but I think Careso's shown a couple of times he's got 2 good feet. Quality close control.
So early stages here at Oriam. Both teams just trying to find their feet. Uruguay certainly looking dangerous, but as always Scotland very confident on the ball, happy to knock it about. There's Barron, just loses the physical battle. That one slipped through. Flag stays down, flashed across goal as well. Juan Freire, the Uruguay captain, been a real thorn in the side of Scotland so far. It's been a mixed campaign for Uruguay. Can of course still win the competition. Lost 2-0 to England on the opening day, and then ran out 4-0 winners against Qatar on Thursday. So they've still got plenty to play for as well, as do Scotland. There goes Dembele, scurrying down the line. Checks back, showing confident footwork as ever. Down he goes. It's been a regular feature of the week. Karamoko Dembele on the receiving end of a robust challenge.
I think I would dislocate both hips if I tried to move my feet the way he does.
That's why you're sitting up here.
Just as well. You can see why a couple of the clips of his skill is going viral on social media. It's just a joy to see someone with that kind of skill, no matter what age, no matter what team.
Well, here comes the delivery from Dembele. It's deep one to the back post. McAleer's there. I think the offside flag might just be up.
And his deliveries have been good. That's been another feature of his play. He's got a knack for dropping the ball in dangerous areas. Unlucky there.
Scotland keen to press this one very high. Barron, Winter and Dembele all strung out across the attacking third, forcing Uruguay to go long. That's loose from McAleer though, tries to make amends. He stands over the ball trying to break up play.
There's a wee bit of an edge to this game that certainly wasn't there in the opener against Qatar, maybe to an extent against England, but both teams have come to play today.
Certainly looked like it evenly matched in terms of both ability and physicality, Kenny. We mentioned England had a physical advantage over Scotland. Scotland perhaps had a physical advantage over Qatar, but this one certainly looks like a more even contest.
And that is part of the learning curve. You can see boys like Dylan Forrest are already enjoying that side of the game.
It's another mazy run from Dembele. McAleer's going to slide it through. Winter's in, he's slotted it underneath the goalkeeper. And I think the offside flag is denied him. Well, certainly a late flag. The sellout crowd here at Oriam had already started celebrating.
And you could see that coming. It's a shame because it was a tidy finish. Another well worked through ball.
Goalkeeper half-heartedly claiming for it, managed to get it in the end, but encouraging signs for Scotland, Kenny. And one thing we've seen all week long, Andrew Winter, every time he plays, this of course is his second start of the competition, always looking to move in behind, always on the shoulder of the last defender, and he's managed to cause real problems.
He's very, very sharp. I think it's one of the impressive things from this week is it's a completely new group of boys thrown together, but very, very quickly they've developed that kind of understanding.
Yeah, worth bearing in mind, this group have never played together at this level. They've done ever so well so far. Time will tell if they can get over the line here this afternoon. There's Patterson, just drags it back and dinks it down to Dembele. Patterson loses out to Martinez. Forrest goes sliding in. Referee thinks about awarding the free kick, but Uruguay come away with it. Floated into the box, cleared by Hamilton, only as far as Martinez. Volley's high over Robbie Hemphreys' crossbar, and real competitive start to this one. Action swinging end to end.
Yep, we talked about the physical duels a few times. I think one of the positive things for me is you look at somebody like Dembele or Barron, and certainly giving away a few inches, but certainly no lack of application, no hiding.
Some spectators getting some free action at the back. Just watching through the window as that one comes down onto the chest of Dembele. Patterson has it into Forrest. Forrest floats it over to his Celtic teammate. Felt like he was on the receiving end of a high challenge there. Referee says it's a throw in only.
Dembele not happy with that. Wouldn't like to make him angry, because the chances are he'll leave you on your backside.
Here's Dylan Forrest, always battling hard. And here he has it again.
He's had a very polished game again so far, Forrest. I think he has taken a few by surprise.
Hamilton goes out to Morrison on the far side. Operated at centre back for much of the opening game, now operating in a left back berth this afternoon. Jensen Weir into Forrest. Martinez is chasing hard. Forrest manages to hold him off. There's Patterson. Scotland very often looking to work it out to Dembele, and you can see why. A real bag of tricks and a real aggression to his game now, as well, as he manages to hold that one in.
And you can see he's fired up today. I think he feels he's had a couple of late tackles. He's channeling those frustrations the right way. Maybe overplayed it a wee bit there.
There's the captain for the day, Jensen Weir. That's a lovely turn from him. Really nice close control, just opened up the space, allowed him to come back towards Ben Cameron. Cameron floats that one out to Morrison as well. Scotland going down the left this time. There's McAleer, loses out though.
We weren't really used to seeing those kind of step overs and turns inside from his dad David. Must come from his mum.
And Jensen Weir, of course, of the Weir family, of a proud Scottish football heritage, certainly. Plays his club football at Wigan, remember. It's part of the Scottish FA's North of England centre. A real spread of clubs represented today. Robbie Hemfrey, the Motherwell goalkeeper's in. And there is Jensen Weir. Loose on this occasion though. Martinez is there, tries to slip it through. Only as far as Cameron. And there's McAleer, finds Forrest. Nice 1-2 between Scotland's central midfield pair. McAleer, that's a nice ball, but just didn't quite get enough curl on it to take it behind the defender. Martinez flicks it on. Cameron's there. He's tackling hard. Uruguay skipper is a real physical presence. In goes Forrest. Infield to McAleer, it's another good pass. Down the line for Winter. Winter just tries to take it in with his first touch, just bit off a bit more than he could chew. Couldn't quite get there.
Forrest's use of the ball has been so tidy again today. It's hard to shake off these comparisons with Scott Brown, the way he carries himself. He's at the same club, same haircut.
Not to mention the way he managed to get in the face of his England opponent and wind him up after Scotland scored the second goal.
Well, that went down well on
Thursday.
Twitter. If people didn't know much about him beforehand, they do now.
Here's Patterson again, nice driving run from him, flicks it with the outside, the right boot. Barron's there, it's fallen to Winter, flag stays down, flashes it towards goal. It's a decent effort from Andrew Winter. Straight into the arms of Ignacio Ferreira. There's Morrison sliding in. Scotland looking to keep on the pressure here. Barron's in there, as is McAleer. Barron's just dropped off though, allows Uruguay to ping that one down the line. Cameron comes across, Morrison as well. Good defending again by Scotland.
I think Morrison goes about his business quietly, but he's another one that's looked polished over the course of the week.
And remember, like Karamoko Dembele, Liam Morrison is younger than the rest of the Scotland group, so good to see these boys operating slightly above their age. And that's a lovely pass from Jensen Weir. It sends Karamoko Dembele racing towards the box. He goes on the outside, flicks it with the left boot into the side netting. I'm sure Brian McLaughlin would have preferred him had a swing at that with the right boot, Kenny, but he did a lot of things right there, and it's managed to go out for a corner kick on the near side.
Yeah, when he has so much ability in that left foot, it would be nice to see him use the right one occasionally. Maybe that'll come, but I thought Jensen Weir was terrific there and starting that off. Really composed on the edge of his own box.
Well, Karamoko Dembele looks in the mood. And there's the tiny duo of Dembele and Barron. By far the smallest players on the field, but they've been mixing it well today so far. It's Barron's ball. There's a lovely volley there. Great connection by Ben Cameron. Just doesn't quite get the direction on it. Patterson and Morrison covering here. Got some defending to do. Back to Hemfrey. Takes no chances whatsoever. Up it goes. Header back.
I like Barron's confidence to take responsibility for that set piece. Certainly not shy.
There's Morrison again, infield to Weir. Weir's looked very, very accomplished early on. Good range of passing, as has Barron. He's found Dembele. Patterson's going outside him. Dembele's surely going to slide it down the line, indeed he does. Patterson always willing to get forward, tries the low cross this time, cut out once more.
Barron replaced Dembele against England, but the pair have linked up well so far today.
So Scotland having to settle for a throw-in on this occasion. Patterson into the feet of Dembele. You can see more than happy to hold the ball off against a much, much bigger opponent. Here he goes, tries to fire it low. Dylan Forrest crunching in. It's going to be a nice one too. If Andrew Winter can pull it off, just didn't get enough on the second pass.
That man Forrest again in the thick of it. Said against England, it's no coincidence. He always seems to be in the right place at the right time.
Well, almost got in the way of Patterson on that occasion, but another throw into Scotland.
Apart from that too.
Down goes Dembele, trying to scramble and keep a hold of it. Forrest just choosing the wrong option on that occasion. Trying the flick in behind. There's Martinez down the line. Kicks the ball away in frustration.
Yes, sharp Martinez. I think he's going to be one to watch. It's been promising here.
So plenty of signs of encouragement early on for Scotland as we reach the halfway point of this opening period. 40 minutes each way, remember, at this level. So Scotland 60 minutes away from finding out if they've won this competition. Winter's not too impressed on that occasion, felt he was being held back.
It's a no-nonsense clearance that nearly took the roof off Oriam.
Dembele just taking his time assessing the options, and it goes to Forrest. The two Celtic men combine and Dembele gets it back. Comes inside again. It's a nice turn from Jensen Weir. Almost as it nipped off his toes at the end though, just perhaps delaying a split second too long. Scotland going for a more direct approach on this occasion. Drops nicely for Winter. It sat up, thought he was going to hit it. Shifts it onto the right boot, tried to thread one through for Dembele. Inches away from a real opening for Scotland.
He was unlucky there, Winter. We thought, as you said, he might have pulled the trigger earlier, but within an inch of sending Dembele through.
Good control from Rhys McAleer, and Dembele just flicks it off of the opponent. A real theme of Scotland's play has been down this right hand side. Dembele showing signs of mild frustration on that occasion. Infield it goes, Weir just working a triangle with Cameron and Hamilton, allowing Scotland to move out the other side. Hamilton just trying to float it over again. Here's Winter if he can get in behind. Good understanding again there. Jamie Hamilton and Andrew Winter both play their football at Hamilton Accies, Kenny. No coincidence that Hamilton looked up and knew exactly where Winter was going to be.
No, and I've mentioned this a few times now. I really, really like the look of Jamie Hamilton. Hamilton's a club, obviously brought through a lot of good young players in recent years. He looks as if he's cut from the same cloth as Mikey Devlin.
Forrest fires that one at Dembele. Dembele manages to keep it in, and it's a lovely turn of pace again. He's into the box, goes by one, by two, closing in, and the goalkeeper floats it across. Scotland can't get there. Winter's there. McAleer chasing in as well. McAleer just battling away. There's another excellent run from Dembele, just missing the final touch. But he might have to get back and help out here because Uruguay have got numbers forward. Not often we see Patterson get beat, but Dylan Forrest a fairly cynical foul on that occasion.
Robust, I think's the word.
It's going to be a yellow card for Dylan Forrest. Referee Gavin Ross with a fairly simple decision, shall we say.
Yeah, and I think that's one that Scott Brown would have been proud of. Fail that undertake it for the team. I do think that Uruguay left back Quintana is going to see Dembele in his sleep tonight. It's been a long first half for him.
Now remember, the disciplinary record of each team can actually come into play if this tournament is tied between two teams, but we'll get to that later on. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, as that one's whipped in deep over the head of everyone.
Well left by Ben Cameron.
Losing out because of too many yellow cards would be quite something even by Scotland's standards, but hopefully we just avoid defeat.
That would be the way to do it.
And do the business on the field here this afternoon. Scotland again spreading the play well. Patterson, very comfortable coming inside. Finds his captain Weir, slides it through to Winter. A few players struggling ever so slightly with the wet surface here at Oriam, Kenny. You can see just one or two having to check themselves before they accelerate away.
Yeah, it's testing their close control, but I think it really marks out the ones that have refined technique. Certainly a few of them are coping. I do think Winter again has been a good focal point up front. He's led the line well, despite his age. He seems to have a real sort of football maturity about him.
Scotland have shown a lot of attacking threat over this competition. Cole Stars has been a danger. He's on the bench. Here's Connor Barron. Cole Stars started the last two games. He's on the bench today. We've seen Michael Sparks in there as well. That's a great turn of pace from Ben Cameron to get back and recover. Not an easy ball for Weir to bring down. Manages to control it, as does Dembele. Side-footed volley, first time to Patterson. Weir showing, tries to slide it to Dembele, doesn't get there. Forrest trying to use his body.
Good upper body strength again. He just looks so untroubled the whole time, Forrest. He just shrug of the shoulders.
Again through the middle for Winter to chase, just too much on it. We mentioned it, Kenny, that the surface is very, very quick. I think passes like that are always going to be very difficult to get on the end of.
Yeah, he's happy playing the shoulder though, isn't he? He doesn't need any invitation to turn his man and sprint. It's just going to be about the weight of that final pass.
There's Cameron coming across. Felt that maybe got a touch off the Uruguay winger, but referee Gavin Ross says no.
Lost in a lot of the excitement the other night, but Ben Cameron's quick thinking for the free kick that led to Ekra Pont's, I suppose, clincher against England. It's definitely worth noting.
You saw his penalty saved, Ben Cameron, but more than made up for it with that delivery. Set up a memorable victory for the Scotland boys. You could see just how much it meant to them. They absolutely loved the celebrations. Here is that man, Cameron. The St Mirren man comes forward. Loses out though. Scotland just have to be careful, as Uruguay have looked lively when they get the ball in an attacking sense. There's Barron. Great composure to find Forrest. Forrest to McAleer. He's got no one outside him.
Big switches on if he wants to be ambitious.
And it certainly was ambitious. He's not going to get enough on it, although it's been missed, and it comes through to Dembele. And we know what comes next. Twisting and turning, one way and then the other. Across to the edge of the box, just crowded out in the end. He's taken a real sore one, I think, Karamoko Dembele. He's lying in a heap on the edge of the penalty box as Jamie Hamilton shows great strength to just fire that one away.
Yeah, nothing really untoward about it. I think Dembele just took a fresh swipe at the ball. He was just caught in the challenge. It's interesting to hear Brian McLaughlin say after the game the other night he gave them all of 19 minutes to enjoy their win against England before attention turned to this one.
I think Dembele's perhaps just winded more than anything. Just took a bit of a sore one. It was a lovely run initially, Kenny, but ran into a bit of a cul-de-sac before long. I think he's still feeling the after effects of that heavy challenge.
Yeah, I think he should sit this one out for a minute or two. Certainly a few of the boys taking the opportunity to get some fluids on.
It's not the first time, and it certainly will not be the last that Karamoko Dembele takes a sore one. He's getting used to it already.
It's the downside if you're blessed with skill. Wouldn't know anything about that. It's a lot easier to be a clogger.
He looks absolutely fine. Scotland players using the break in play to get some water on board. Brian McLaughlin down in front of us barking instructions as well. He wasn't too impressed with the way his defence covered that Uruguay attack just a moment or two ago. Looks like it's going to be a long one. Cleared away by Weir. Volleyed from the edge of the box. A ferocious hit from Vicente Sassi.
Cameron, the man in the right place at the right time again.
Morrison did a lot right there. Kept the ball well, but the pass was loose. He was looking for McAleer, just too much on it.
Dembele back on to Quintana's obvious dismay.
Andrew Winter, the man chasing down Uruguay at the back. And it's going to be too high for Dembele. It was a lovely pass actually, but Dembele does well to win it back. Then he loses out again, then wins it back again. And then it's a loose pass. Jensen Weir covering. Morrison's out there as well. It's going to be fired across. It was Fontes, I think, the last man who got a touch on the ball. So again, Uruguay still looking dangerous. He sends Scotland really want a goal to settle the nerves, but Barron's lost out here. Here come Uruguay again. Barron trying to make amends. And it's fallen to Fontes once more. Again, good defending, Ben Cameron. But again, it's not fully clear. Forrest eventually going long, but Scotland making life difficult for themselves at the back. Robbie Hemphreys blushes, spared there by an offside flag on the far side.
A sharp intake of breath all around Oriam.
You can see the goalkeeper came and he spilled the ball. Could have been a real danger, but
Put that down to the wet pitch.
Slipped through once more. Hemphreys off his line. It's been dinked over him. He's managed to get a touch on it. That's got to go down as a really good save from Robbie Hemphreys. Juan Freire is the man with his head in his hands. But Uruguay looking more and more threatening, Kenny, in this spell.
Yeah, and Hemphreys a bit busier than he would like, but I thought he was really quick off his line there to deal with the threat. All credit to him.
So absolutely nothing between these teams so far. It's a fairly poor corner kick, it must be said. It allows Winter to come forward. He's got plenty of pace to burn, but it's a great recovery tackle, it must be said. Vicente Sassi again, just as quick as Winter getting back.
Great turn of pace from Sassi there to recover.
Brian McLaughlin just urging his fullbacks to get high, and that allows Scotland to play out from the back. Exactly like that, allows Cameron to come in and find Forrest. He can go back to Weir. Weir can do what he does best, showing nice composure. Scotland choose to go out the other side now. Morrison into Barron. Neat control. This is a great move, this, from Scotland, if it can be kept in the far side. There is Morrison. Eventually breaks down. A real confident build-up play from Scotland, patient stuff.
I do hope supporters, whether they've been at the games or whether they've watched at home, have enjoyed the way Scotland have tried to play. It's been patient, it's been brave to get on the ball from deep the way they have done. Certainly encouraging for the future.
Jensen Weir's underneath it. That is an immaculate touch. Finds Dembele. He kills it dead as well. Skips through, absolutely scythed down. It was Romaniuk and Sassi. I think they both fouled him. I'm not sure if it's possible for them both to be punished. The old sandwich.
without even thinking about it.
There's Morrison taking no chances. Good control from Winter into Smith. He can't keep possession though.
Here's the curse.
Uruguay do have numbers over here. Hamilton scrambling to get there, and it's fired. Across goal. It's a good save, Robbie Hemfrey. Had to get down well. Not sure the Uruguay attacker got as much on it as he would have liked. It was difficult to tell if he'd managed to squeeze it under the goalkeeper from the angle we have. Nice reverse ball inside Dembele. Surely a foul on Connor Smith. Referee says no.
Surprised at that.
Uruguay been very competitive so far. They want to cause an upset here. They can also win this competition, remember. But the picture for Scotland is very clear. Scotland win the tournament by avoiding defeat, so a win or a draw. But they would also still win the tournament with a 1-goal defeat. England and Qatar are playing out on the outdoor pitch here. I can tell you at half-time it was England 6, Qatar 0. So another heavy defeat for Qatar by the looks of it.
You could maybe see that coming. There'll be a bit of frustration in the England camp about how the other night went at Fourth Bank.
Yeah, no doubt about it. As much as Scotland came out on top, England were a very impressive side.
I think it's to Scotland's credit they emerged from that one with a clean sheet.
Referee not really too sure which way to award that throw in. Eventually settles on to Uruguay. Dembele slides in, nips it away. Jensen Weir comes forward with it. Inside to Smith, to Barron. Just in danger of being crowded out, but it's a good spot by Smith. Finds Morrison.
Ball just wouldn't drop for him.
And again, it's been a fairly mistake-ridden period for Scotland, as that one comes out to the right-hand side.
Hamilton did really well there again to force them back without committing himself.
Smith goes skating in. He's battling away there, slides in again. He clearly won the ball, but the referee just signalling for a shirt pull.
I think skating is the word when you see the water rise off the pitch the way it is.
And didn't look a lot wrong with that tackle, must be said. Referee Gavin Ross obviously spotted something.
Well, I hope this doesn't lead to a goal for Uruguay. A bit of an injustice.
So Martinez, the number 10, is the man over the ball. It's going to be an out-swinging delivery. A few of these caused problems in the first half. Scotland have to be switched on here. You can see the pink shirts all strung out across the penalty spot line. And it comes, it's another high and deep ball, far too deep for any of his teammates, and you can see the frustration there. Real wasted opportunity for Uruguay. I'm not sure Scotland will be complaining too much.
It's a big pitch to jog all the way back if you're a centre back who's come up for that. My Spanish isn't great, but you can tell a few of them are happy.
Uruguay also pressing Scotland a lot higher from these goal kicks than they were in the first half. Goes long, easily won by Martinez, only as far as Patterson. Just ball springing about in midfield, neither side managing to keep any real possession. Sassy turns away from Dembele, tries a nice ball down the channel, but Patterson slides and hooks it away. Dembele gives it back to him. Jensen Weir wants it, he's pointing infield. Grieger to Smith. Sassy closes him down well. Smith's had a difficult introduction to this game so far, just on at half-time.
Probably quite a difficult game to get up to speed in.
Taking another chance there, holding the shirt of Martinez. He's already been penalised for that once, as Connor Smith. Referee not too fussed on that occasion. Morrison again taking a chance. Got to admire Scotland's willingness to be comfortable on the ball, but it hasn't always come off today. Here come Uruguay, driving across. Sassy fires it in. Ball spinning there, you can see, but Morrison manages to hack it clear. Fired onto the head of Barron. Perhaps it was a handball, but referee not interested. There's a switch on if they want it, Scotland. Dembele just can't get it out from underneath his feet. Here goes Grieger, just telling someone to fill in. Barron chasing down the line, but it's always going to be a big ask for him to get there. You can see a much smaller frame of Conor Barron.
Yeah, but he's a hardy wee soul. Still wouldn't have anyone tell me that wasn't his goal the other night. Handled the post-match press conference like a pro as well. It's easy to forget that how young these boys are, how inexperienced they are in these areas.
So 47 minutes on the clock, still goalless here at Oriam. Both sides could have taken the lead on a number of occasions. There's been a lot of chances in the game, a lot of mistakes made. Perhaps that's to be expected. The third game in 5 days for both these sides. We saw those 3 Scotland changes at the break. I wonder how many more we'll see soon. Nice control from Patterson. That wasn't easy. He goes down. The home crowd not happy that the referee chooses not to give a free kick. Connor Smith's got a real knack of sticking his foot in the right area, and he won it initially, but the pass was loose.
Scotland still looking to play the ball out from the back whenever possible. Patterson's seen a lot of the ball at right back.
Just tries to play that over the top for Dembele. We know he's quick, but that's a real ask for him to get there. Cole Stars with the miscontrol. Barron goes down. Jensen Weir, the man with the captain's armband today. Ken, another aspect to this Brian McLaughlin squad rotation's been he's had 3 different captains as well. I suppose that can only benefit the boys who've had the experience of leading the team out.
It's a proud moment for all 3. But I think you can tell even over the course of the week that there are a few leader types within the group, a few dominant personalities. Certainly Smith's one, Cameron another who isn't a shrinking violet.
Yeah, Connor Smith had the captain's armband on in the first game, Ben Cameron in the second, and now this man Jensen Weir in the third and final game as Scotland look to wrap up this competition. It's turn of pace for Dembele. Sassy got a foot in, no good defending.
Weir's maybe a bit quieter, but he certainly leads by example.
Scotland looking for Robbie Hemfrey to come off his line, and he does so, collects easily.
Hemfrey's done that well over the course of the game. He's been so sharp off his line on a difficult surface for goalkeepers.
Grieger gets it back with a bit of help from Weir and Barron. Here's Barron once more. Right footed out to this side to Morrison, slips it down the line. Smith gets there. Weir wants it. Added Winter down the line, tried to find the Hamilton Accies striker, just poked out of play.
Barron was highlighting the influence of Barry Robson in his club career at Aberdeen the other night. I'm sure Barry Robson, if he's had a chance to see the games, will be proud of his efforts.
Well, there is Connor Barron, twisting and turning. Nice footwork out to Jensen Weir. Tries to play the diagonal to Dembele. It's a very accurate pass and an accurate touch as well. Dembele goes down, referee says no. I don't think there was a great deal in it, in fairness. Now Uruguay attacking with some intent, but again, Jamie Hamilton has defended so well this week. Loose touch allows Smith to nip in. Patterson. There's another switch on, if he can spot it. Connor Barron on the chest. Skips away from Martinez. Rolls it through the centre circle to Weir and then Smith. Now Dembele has it. This is the position he operated well in the first half. Just skating past his man as if he's not there. Cole Stars is moving his way into the box. Connor Smith with it. Goes back to Weir. Nice touch, Barron flicks it over the top, Smith's in, brings it down, just can't get it past the goalkeeper, but does in the end. Connor Smith rolls it into the bottom corner. It was a lovely through ball from Connor Barron. Smith showed good composure to bring the ball down. The keeper closed him down initially, but Connor Smith, the Hearts man, kept his head and rolled the ball into the bottom corner. And Scotland really in a commanding position now to wrap up this international tournament.
Two things about that goal: the control and the vision of Barron, and the persistence and the energy of Smith to be making that run in the final third. He deserves it for the runs he's made all week.
Connor Barron, the man who came on and made the difference against England on Thursday, well, he's on from the start today, the number 22, and what a lovely dinked ball over the top it was. And it was left to Connor Smith to provide the finish. And the sellout crowd here at Oriam certainly enjoyed that one.
He's had a great game, Barron, all round. I think supporters could really take to, do you want to call him a pint-sized prospect? He spoke the other day about how he looks up to somebody like Iniesta, who's not exactly blessed in the height department, but his control and his vision, his touch is so sharp, compensates for it.
Thing that struck me this week, Kenny, as well, is just how much it means to the boys to score and have success. They're the first time they've been together at this level. We know that this is not the most competitive action that they're ever going to play at, but nevertheless it means a lot to them and they're giving absolutely everything.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it from their application. They've been throwing themselves into everything. I think the coaching staff at times have had to pull the reins in a bit. And Barron's commitment sums it up. He said himself he watched the first game on the SFA stream when he wasn't involved. As soon as he got that call up, he was down to the team hotel for I think 11 o'clock at night, desperate to be involved. The enthusiasm's there for everyone to see.
Well, that goal makes a world of a difference for Scotland, because remember, even a 1-0 defeat would be enough for us to wrap up this competition. A draw certainly will, and a win, well, that would just cap it off in some style. And I don't want to provide the commentator's curse, but with less than 20 minutes of this whole tournament left, Scotland still haven't conceded a goal, and that will be very pleasing for Brian McLaughlin. I hope I haven't spoken too soon, but there's Morrison. There's Barron back doing his defensive duties as well. He's putting an unbelievable shift this afternoon, Connor Barron. Nice left-footed pass into the goal scorer Smith. It's a assured play from Morrison. Cole Stars. Been a real spread of goals throughout the competition as well, remember.
Everyone's played their part. It's going to be hard enough picking a put my teeth back in, a man of the match from today's game.
Well, you've got
a couple of candidates.
15 minutes or so before you have to worry about that one.
Well, I know who it was, but Connor Barron's certainly given me something else to think about.
Very, very aggressive challenge, that one.
Connor Smith right in the thick of it again.
From Juan Freire, the Uruguayan captain. Going to be a substitution as well. Matthias Ornithun is the man going off. He's going to be replaced by Francisco Cardozo.
Uruguay's first substitution, number 7 Matthias Ocampo, being replaced by number 17 Francisco Bilbao.
Referee says we can now get back underway. It's Hamilton, rather ambitious ball over the top. It was never really in the direction of Karamoko Dembele. A high one for Hamilton to deal with this time. Misjudges it. Morrison's there. Heads it high. Jensen Weir back into Gregor. Thumped long and down the middle by Hemfrey. You can see Winter, he's just loitering, hoping to get a break in behind. Connor Barron, the smallest man in the field, with the header. And then he goes again.
There's a lot to like about him. He just does not give up.
Referee's pulled that one back for a free kick to Uruguay. We are going to see another couple of changes here. So the man who scored the second and decisive goal against England, Finn Ekrapont, I'm sure he's had an enjoyable few days reliving that goal. Well, he's going to come on in place of Liam Morrison at the back.
Substitutions for Scotland coming off number 20, Liam Morrison. As
So Finn Ekrapont plays his club football at Ayr United, has been training with the first team already. He's going to slot in at left back. And we're going to see another one of the Motherwell contingent on. Adam Kettings coming into the midfield. He's going to replace Connor Barron. You've been a big fan of Connor Barron's, Kenny. A last word on his involvement today.
Just think his attitude's been terrific, and his technique.
A lovely pass for the goal, wasn't it?
Just everything about the way he's gone about his business today. He's wanted on the ball at every opportunity. His decision making's been spot on. His vision for the through ball was terrific. Keep coming back to it. We shouldn't underestimate the difference in height and strength, but you wouldn't know it to watch him play. He can be really proud of himself over the last game and a half.
The delay in play as Gutierrez comes back on for Uruguay. Just had to change his shirt. He flicks it high into the air. First action for Ekrapont. Here's Adam Kettings, another of the substitutes that's went all the way through to Andrew Winter. Scotland are attacking here. Here's Cole Stars, but the pass is just behind the Motherwell man. Here's Kettings though out to Patterson. He's got Dembele for company, Patterson, but he's going alone. Gets the break of the ball as well, forced to come back the way. Right-footed pass out to Smith. Smith tries to dink one through. Ekrapont with it. Shows nice play to move away from two defenders.
I'd like to see the ball drop kindly for Winter just once, because I think he's put in some amount of work today. It's just not quite come off for him. Not for the lack of effort. He's been crowded out on occasion.
Yeah, Andrew Winter has put in a good shift to Hamilton Accies man. Here he is again. He's penalised this time though, Andrew Winter. He's not happy with that one. The son of former referee Brian Winter, of course. Finn Ekrapont gets a toe in there. Robbie Hemfrey hesitates though. Hamilton trying to get back. Grieger comes across, smashes the ball away.
No messing about from Grieger.
That Connor Smith goal really has put any nerves that Scotland had to bed. They know they're in an extremely good position to win this competition now as things stand.
Listen, people still talk about Scotland winning the Kirin Cup. Any sort of silverware is welcome.
Still got some defending to do though, as that one's fired towards the bottom corner, and that was not far away at all.
No, Uruguay still well in the game. But I do think Scotland's defence have restricted them quite well. Hemfrey's not had too many saves to make.
Understandably, Robbie Hemfrey's in no real hurry to get things underway. Why would you be? Scotland 1-0 to the good and in a commanding position. Giving away a throw in though on the near side. A combination of Grieger and Hamilton snuffing out the Uruguay danger. Here comes Kane Patterson once more. We've seen him rampaging forward a number of times. Down goes Smith. Finally does get the decision his way from the referee.
Good wee bit of needle just started to creep into the game.
Connor Smith, the goal scorer, over the ball alongside Karamoko Dembele. It's Smith who whips it in. Andrew's there. Andrew Winter headers it down. Did everything right. Got the ball down, but the direction just wasn't there, Kenny. Goalkeeper.
Yep, that was his chance. A few inches left or right. I think he's celebrating a goal there. Good connection. As you say, just didn't quite in the direction.
Here's Finn Ekrapont, plays it down the line for Winter. He's got some serious running to do.
How about that pass from Ekrapont? Good few Ayr United related comments on Twitter the other night after his impact against England. Easy to see why they're excited. Training with their first team already.
Seem to be attracting an international audience for this one as well. Christopher Harris has been in touch on Facebook. He's watching from Alabama. Michael Evans from Oslo. Glenn Wilson from Australia. Silan Jacobs from Seville. And Brandon Buchan from Peterhead. Just as exotic. Another change though for Uruguay. It's going to be the captain, Juan Gutierrez, who's coming off. Has put in a really good shift. It's been a difficult task for him at times. He's roughed up the Scotland backline where possible. Be interesting to know what Connor Smith is saying to Carlos Vila. I'm not sure Connor Smith speaks Spanish, and I'm not sure if it's the international language of winding each other up. Look at the two of them.
That's a great wee
having a real go. You can see Smith getting the better of a much bigger opponent there.
Yep, for all his talk, there was only one winner there.
Cole Stars thundering into that one as well.
Two of them are not far away from each other again.
Finn Ekrapont just taking his time assessing the options from the throw-in. Connor Smith dropping deep, he wants it, but it goes into Kettings. Good control to move away from three defenders. Ekrapont keeps it in. Hemfrey has to come. Winter was underneath it, but never had a real chance of keeping it in. Jensen Weir does well, battling hard. Chest control from Kettings. Rides one challenge, skips in from another, thunders through another one, Adam Kettings. He's a player that the Motherwell Academy really like. Adam Kettings, he's been injured as well, so he's having to come back to full fitness in a competition like this. He's done well in his time on the field.
He's been really dogged and determined since he's come on. It's helped shore up that midfield.
Ekrapont slides it down the line once more. A good combination again with Andrew Winter. Infield he comes. He goes for the ambitious pass. It doesn't come off for him. Kettings is there though. Dembele with the close control once more. Skips in, fires it from distance. Karamoko Dembele just over the top. He's had a much quieter second half, Kenny, but as you can see, he doesn't need too much encouragement.
He's capable of playing in explosive bursts, and that wasn't too far away at all. He turned in a really tight space, let fly.
And Jamie Hamilton for the first time all afternoon's been caught out. Josh Krieger helps him. Patterson's there. Patterson clears the danger. Stars underneath it. Chest control from him. Jensen Weir and Adam Kettings combining. Lovely turn there from the Motherwell player into Connor Smith. He's got space to drive into. His opposite number 8 tugging him back. That's a really fascinating battle between those two. Kettings this time just a bit too much on the pass. I wonder if Karamoko Dembele's race might be run once more, Kenny. We saw him struggling towards the middle of the second half against England. He's stretching off again.
Yeah, and there's no point taking any chances. He's put so much into the 3 games.
He's a real threat when he's on the ball. I suppose the harsh reality is there's only so much running those little legs can handle on a pitch this size.
You do look at him and you think, how does he cover the distance? How does he generate enough power to kick the ball that far? He's a talent, no mistake in that.
Oh, Ekrapont does really well, rides the challenge, keeps possession of the ball, finds Kettings into Smith now. Dembele is simultaneously stretching and shouting for the ball on the far side. Good opening here though, Jensen Weir slips it through, chance for Cole Stars. The offside flag is up. Stars stomps the ground in frustration. There's another good move from Scotland, and that can't have been far away.
We've seen a couple of good left backs. I just want to make the point. We've seen a couple of good left backs this week, but Ekrapont looks a thoroughbred. I don't think he's put a foot wrong since he's come on.
Jamie Hamilton with a nudge in the back, but not enough in it for the referee to take any action. Patterson's looked comfortable all afternoon in that right back row, coming forward, spinning away from one challenge and two. Down he goes. Referee says free kick. Now 22 yards from goal, on the right side for a left footer to have a crack. I think there's only one man going to have a go from this distance, Kenny.
If he's got the strength. I wonder how long he's got left in him.
I can see why Connor Smith and Cole Stars want it, but if you're a left footer in that situation, you're telling them, this is mine.
And I think that's the message that's being relayed here. Dembele clearly fancies it, and he's not exactly shaping up the cross.
So Scotland with 1 goal advantage at the moment. Smith steps over it. Here comes Dembele. Hits the wall though. Smith's there. Goalkeeper comes and punches. Dembele might get a second bite at it. Round the outside he goes, down he goes again. Still getting back on his feet. Takes this one quick, Connor Smith. Scotland have got themselves in a bit of trouble. That's how to get out of it, Adam Kettings. Lovely turn.
If for whatever reason Dembele doesn't make it as a footballer, he could turn to hurdling, because he's having to prove adept at jumping out of some wild challenges.
Well, the sellout crowd inside Oriam will be glad of the roof, because I can tell you the rain is absolutely battering down on top of it here.
Douglas Arenzo Martinez has been replaced by number 20, Lucas Acosta.
Final substitution, you would imagine, for Uruguay. Just allowing Scotland to regroup. Dembele over there with the throw-in.
That's Scotland's goal up on the SFA's Twitter account for anyone that's yet to see it. Well worth it. Not just for Barron's through ball, but for Smith's run and finish. Really well executed move.
This is a really good battle between Connor Smith and Carlos Vila.
Smith must be a nightmare to play against, because he doesn't give you an inch.
And Vila is a big boy, it must be said.
Vila is clearly seething.
Dembele closed down that time. Goes through to Grieger and Patterson. Good first touch play from him. Jensen Weir skippered the side really well today, as he kicks that one out of play and shows that the commentator's curse very much still exists. There's Smith again.
There's that battle.
Vila comes out on top on this occasion, but Weir's there to help out. You can tell Vila is just used to getting his own way physically, because he is pulling everyone that goes near him. Again, that's nice play from Weir, really good at dropping in and helping the full-backs out. Stars is there, beaten to it. Into the centre circle it goes. Vila trying to dink that one over the top. Ekrapont looks like he's got it covered, although he's got 2 Uruguay players for company. Ayr United man does ever so well.
He did well there just to shepherd that out under close attention from a couple of players. Another one of the boys is blessed with a cool head.
Hamilton's clearance too high for Connor Smith. Ekrapont looks down the line for Stars. The flag stays down for the meantime. Stars manages to get the break of the ball. He's into the penalty box now. Cole Stars, down he goes. Penalty kick, says the referee. The Uruguay players are furious. Now not again. Cole Stars, the same debate that we had on Thursday. You can't see it on your screen at the moment, but the Scotland players again debating who's going to take the penalty kick.
Poor Cole Stars did ever so well to win it. He's quick off the mark to try and grab the ball, but as Brian McLaughlin shouted on, Dembele's obviously the designated take-up.
Referee just having a word with Ignacio Suarez in the goal. Felt he was being a bit over the top with his attempted mind games on Karamoko Dembele.
Got to like Stars' enthusiasm for the cause. Bundle of energy.
Here he comes in, Karamoko Dembele from the penalty spot, steps up, smashes it down the middle, makes it Scotland 2, Uruguay 0. Karamoko Dembele has been a real thorn in the side of Uruguay all afternoon. He's got his goal, and it looks like that's going to be enough to clinch this international under-16 tournament for Scotland.
And there's another one for the YouTube compilation for Karamoko Dembele. Tucked away the penalty with such composure, and he celebrates as if he's just scored the winning goal in the World Cup final. Great to see.
Certainly been a bit quieter in the second half. Karamoko Dembele was actually stretching off a few moments ago, looking as if he had run his race for the day, but when the penalty was awarded, you heard the instruction very clearly from the sideline. Brian McLaughlin telling the Scotland players it was Dembele's kick to take, and he made absolutely no mistake. Scotland 2 goals to the good against Uruguay, and pretty much home and hosed.
Trophies in the bag. No more than they deserve for the week they've had.
For what it's worth, I don't actually think there is a trophy, but nevertheless it's a good tournament victory approaching for Scotland.
There's a half cup of soup here on the table if they want to lift that instead.
Uruguay were incensed at that penalty decision. I'm not sure exactly why they were so angry, Kenny. It looked a fairly clear-cut decision from here, certainly not as outrageous as they were making out.
Frustration's boiling over a wee bit. It's 3 completely different kind of tests Scotland have had this week.
I think we've just seen a straight red card, Kenny. That was just out of screen there. It's the number 19 Maximiliano Fernandez. He's been shown the red card. It'd be interesting if we could get a bit of clarification on what that was for. Certainly was just out of shot. An off the ball incident with Josh Grieger. You could see Grieger going face to face with him.
He's doing a good impression of the innocent man there.
He certainly looks, but the referee in fairness was right on top of it. Going to be a substitution for Scotland as well in the final moments here. Andrew Winter coming off, and it's that man who's played every position I think so far, Kenny, Liam Miller.
For Scotland coming off number 11, Andrew Winter.
Yep.
And he's replaced in line number 13, Liam Miller.
I think we've both been impressed with Liam Miller over the course of the week, but I do think it's worth pointing out again, Andrew Winter, very, very polished, very impressive in everything he's done.
So Liam Miller played left back in the first game. He was in right midfield in the second. Looks as if he's come on up front here, the Sunderland player. I can tell you it is currently England 7, Qatar 0. But that result won't matter because Scotland have to just take care of themselves, and they very much look like they can do that. Villa with a clear pull of the shirt on Miller. Ketting's got the chance to get us underway, does so quickly. Credit to Scotland that with only 5 minutes remaining, they're still desperate to play at high tempo. Patterson loses that though. Someone's going to have to fill in for him at right back. Jensen Weir is the man to do it, but great powers of recovery. Kane Patterson.
Yeah, we like Patterson. He's been all action all week, and as you say, there's been no drop in intensity levels. I think just being involved in this occasion means the world to these boys, so they'll be sorry it's over, although there will be a few tired legs. And that rain is lashing down outside Oriam.
Uruguay into the penalty box now though. The 10 men of Uruguay trying to salvage something. Not when Adam Kettings is around though, and not when Liam Miller's breaking with the ball either. Really tidy effort this from Scotland to get forward. It's a great pass as well. It's just slightly behind Smith. Initially looked as if he'd got it spot on, Liam Miller, but Uruguay did well to cover in. And you can see Uruguay growing really, really frustrated, Kenny.
Yeah, they've got a long flight back ahead of them. I think much like England, Uruguay have given quite a good account of themselves. Maybe just not had that cutting edge, but I think that's to the credit of the Scotland backline. They've been superbly marshalled by Jamie Hamilton again.
Hamilton's pass almost evades Josh Grieger, but he manages to keep it in. Jensen Weir striding forward. Kettings comes back to him. Smith wants it, and Smith gets it. Liam Miller's there as well, just moving towards the penalty box. Jensen Weir curls that one into Karamoko Dembele on the outside for the umpteenth time, goes down. No suggestion of a penalty this time though.
I think Quintana will be happy never ever to come across Dembele again. It's been a long afternoon for him.
Final change then, you would imagine, for Scotland, unless they make another one in the dying minutes. But Kane Patterson, the man we've praised all afternoon, the Scotland right back, the number 2, has been a very impressive performer. He's going to come off and he's going to be replaced by Cameron Logan. Scotland's fullbacks in all the games we've seen, Kenny, have had a real part to play, and again today none more so than Kane Patterson.
Yeah, we picked him out as man of the match in the first game. A bundle of energy. He was decisive defensively, and he was offensively, for want of a better word. Always keen to take part in the attacks. Clearly appreciated by his teammates as well, because he's been mobbed by the coaching staff. Patterson looks as if he could play another game right now.
Well, in case you're wondering what that Uruguay red card was for, because it was off screen, it was a stamp.
That's not very nice.
It was a stamp. I think it was in Josh Grieger, so Scotland not complaining though. The 10-men advantage, the 2-goal advantage, and they're just trying to play out the final minutes here in the same way they've gone about their business for the rest of this competition. High intensity, possession based, giving absolutely everything. Cole Stars just loses out the 50-50. Sassy goes down. Kenny, was just a couple of minutes of normal time to play then. Run us through your thoughts, your contenders, and your final decision for man of the match.
This is easily the hardest call of the week, and torn a wee bit. Conor Barron probably deserves it, because I don't think he put a foot wrong, and it was a great piece of intelligent play for his through ball for the goal. But I think today and over the course of the week, I think I'm going to have to go for Jamie Hamilton at the back. I think he's been superb. I think he's done more than most to shut out a very, very strong Uruguay team. Composed head at the back, very intelligent in his use of the ball. Decision making's been spot on. So no, today's man of the match is Jamie Hamilton. Direct all your abuse somewhere else.
There we are, Jamie Hamilton, the Hamilton Accies defender, is Kenny's shout for man of the match as Smith tries to dink that one through. Dembele's in there as well.
The terms and conditions, the disclaimer is that it could have easily been 4, 5, 6 other people today. So
Yeah.
Everyone's a winner.
It's been an impressive performance from the boys in pink. They knew what they had to do. Even a 1-0 defeat would have been enough to win this competition, but they've done it in a bit of style. And I just know they'll want to keep the clean sheet for the week intact. Is Vila going to spoil that right at the death? Indeed he does not. Luckily for Brian McLaughlin's side. That would have been a real shame.
3 minutes additional time to be played.
3 minutes to be added on. Scotland haven't conceded a goal all week, and they came within inches of seeing that flawless record go.
I think I picked the wrong time to talk about Jamie Hamilton's man of the match performance. But listen, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
In comes the corner kick then. Volleyed in at the near post by Alonso. Robbie Hemfrey taking his time.
Yeah, if we could just strike that slight error of judgment from the records.
Don't worry, the man of the match award was in the bag before that
It's almost as if he knew.
Can't take it back. Here he is, Jamie Hamilton.
If he can just get through the next minute without any major gaffes, I'd be delighted.
Look at that for a pass from Jensen Weir. That is outstanding stuff. Fires it into Cole Stars. He drives forward, slips it across to Connor Smith. Scotland players enjoying themselves here. Smith backheels it to Dembele. Dembele driving to the left. The pass isn't a good one though.
Should say that I don't think Jensen Weir would be far off a man of the match shout either.
He has really operated the engine room well for Scotland. Here he is, Jensen Weir. You can see Kenny, one of those players, always lifts his head before he gets the ball, knows where he wants to play it before it's even arrived at him.
He's an intelligent player.
Grieger goes over the top to Miller. Miller comes back and then goes one way and the other. Great trickery into Smith. Smith just dinks it off. Going to be curled towards goal. Keeper easily saves in the end. It was Jensen Weir trying to get in the action. Jamie Hamilton with an unorthodox clearance. Here's Vila.
But he did get it clear.
Ekrapont nutmegged by Alonso. Alonso trying to escape from Weir. Gets into the box, fires it across. Cameron in there is bouncing around. Hemfrey comes.
I think for Scotland to end this tournament without conceding a goal is some achievement.
Don't speak too soon. Maybe 30 seconds or so left. That's a wonderful pass down the line from Connor Smith. And equally impressive control from Cole Stars.
Cole Stars has been told to slow things down a wee bit. Obviously a few in the team think they've run their race.
And there goes the full-time whistle. It's finished here. Scotland 2, Uruguay 0. And that means Scotland win this under-16 international tournament. They haven't conceded a goal all week. It was 7 goals against Qatar, 2 goals against England, 2 goals against Uruguay. Even my dodgy arithmetic will tell you that's 11 goals in total, Kenny. None conceded. A really, really impressive performance across the week. And there might not be a trophy, but technically some silverware or a real achievement there for these boys to take back to their clubs with them.
I think we should all chip in for some sort of trophy to mark the week, because listen, there has been not a single negative, all positives for Scotland under-16s this week. To a man, they've been a credit. A lot to give us hope for the future, I think.
That man in the middle of the screen, Karamoko Dembele, scoring the second goal this afternoon, Kenny. But when you look through the squad list, it was the starting 11 that played against Qatar. There was then 9 changes for the England game. They won that one as well. Then changes again today. Everyone getting a fair crack of the whip. Connor Barron getting called into the squad last minute and scoring against England and making a real difference today. It's just been a real positive week for Brian McLaughlin and these boys.
It's definitely been a group effort. Brian McLaughlin was at pains after the first game to point out that he wants to work with an extended group of 36 or so players. He thinks there's real depth of talent all over the park, and it's easy to see why. As you say, even the likes of Connor Barron, who were on a standby list, called in, and they've all made their mark.
You can see what it means to them, a real togetherness from this squad throughout the week, Kenny. We've touched on it a number of times, the first time that this squad's been together. And let's look at some of the goals that they produced. I mean, look at this vision from Connor Barron and execution as well. Dinked over the top. Connor Smith, second bite of the cherry, and he poked it into the back of the net. Kenny, it was a real relief at that point. Scotland knew they pretty much had the competition in the bag by the way the previous results had gone. You could see what it meant to them. Then the second, composure personified from Karamoko Dembele.
Just everything they've done this week has been polished and measured and professional. They've never been overly stretched. They've had that quality in the final third as well. For all we talk about how solid they've been at the back, creative in midfield, crucially they've had that composure and cutting edge.
Well, you can see Brian McLaughlin just in the middle of that circle there. The players all just taking on some final instructions. I'm sure he will be absolutely delighted with a lot of what he's seen, but as always, I'm equally sure they won't be getting too carried away. They might be enjoying these celebrations for the moment, but as always, Brian McLaughlin will have spotted room for improvement. They'll want to come back even better and even stronger next time. But for the moment, we can certainly enjoy what we've seen this week. It's finished here, Scotland 2, Uruguay 0, and that means Scotland are the winners of this under-16 international tournament.